So in this video, we're going to be talking about what might have happened if the player never met Mr. P. Welcome back to the series, which I will continue until Intercity and other updates release. And don't worry, I'll be making theories and more. This series is fan fiction, so you also get to participate. Comment your what if something, and that's all you need to do, and I'll do the thinking. Now lastly, please subscribe. You guys have been loving these videos lately, and a subscribe will be really supportive of you. So without any further ado, let's jump right into today's video. What if the player never met Mr. P? After escaping from the gallery, the player and Doggy decide to rest in the forest. As per the actual story, Doggy gets infected, and the player escapes, but the player is late. Late as in he was late enough to completely miss the plea of help from Mr. P. Completely ignorant about Bunny trapped in the school and the person who is the cause of this infection, he runs around the city in search of help. He goes to the hospital to see if anyone could help him, but to his disappointment, he couldn't find any help but a bear chasing him around until he finally escapes. A lot of lonely days later, searching for Georgie, the player decides to go to the carnival to see if he can find any traces of Mr. P. As he learns that he is the cause of the whole infection, he looks around for a while and he sees a fox trapped inside a cage, wondering how long it would have taken to get him trapped in there. He opens the door and sees two figures, a zebra and a pony. Pony asks Zizzy if the player was infected. He immediately gave out a noise of disgust, and Zizzy concluded that they weren't infected as they were able to talk. The player is not sure if he can trust them. He decides to ask them about Mr. P and Georgie. They seem to have no clue of who Georgie was, but they knew who Mr. P was. But that didn't know anything other than that. They head in front of the safe place and hear a dumpster shake in the back and look at it. They see a body move behind it. The player decides to go after it, and Zizzy tries to follow, but he doesn't allow her to. The player is still contemplating whether to trust these strangers. He hasn't been the same since Doggy got infected. He hasn't had a companion for so long that he doesn't trust anyone unless it's Doggy. The story continues to be the same until the store map, but the player still doesn't feel the same as he did with Doggy. The three are now at the Old Oak. They get jumped by TSP, and the moment the player sees Willow, a wave, memories wash through the player. This is the same Willow whom he and Doggy arrested before the whole infection started. This makes the player reminisce about Doggy. Willow reveals that Pony was once a member of TSP. Looking at the shock in player's face, Willow also reveals that Pony was the one who infected Doggy. The player had lost his mind when he heard this. He faces down at the ground, absolutely fuming. He was right to not trust Pony. After all, he knew he was, but hid it and pretended as if nothing had happened. After TSP takes Zizzy hostage, Pony begs the player for help, but the player simply walks away. He couldn't forgive Pony for what he had done. Pony, now not knowing what to do, decided to go to the refinery even though he knew he was not strong enough to take on a whole gang of criminals. He wanted to save Zizzy. He successfully reached Zizzy, but he was too slow. Zizzy was already scratched by an infected, and she forces him to leave. After Pony retreats back to the safe place, the group asks where the player and Zizzy were, and he lies that they were killed by TSP. Too ashamed to accept the fact that he was the reason for the player deserting them. A while later, the safe place gets attacked by TSP for Pony causing a mess at the refinery. The group were taken to a factory where they were trapped in a prison cell. Z and Zuzi break them out of their cell, and in the process, Giraffe gets shot at by Willow. Pony has had enough. He decided to fight Willow. He finally knocks out Willow, but also saves her trapped friends. When Pony gets Mimi and the others out of the factory, Willow had woken up and followed them outside. She decided to shoot the group, but her friends convinced her to spare them and help them. They now realize that Tigray is missing. The TSP members offer to help Giraffe and others. Georgie, Pony, the sisters, Willow and Mimi head north to find the cure. They head to the port and find Willow's ship to be missing. "Thank you, Tigray," said the player. "You looked weak. It's the least I could do," said Tigray. The player and Tigray were on a boat. The player looked extremely tired. "Hey, "You're a member of Willow's gang, right?" asked the player. "Used to be. She didn't treat me well. She always forced us to do things we didn't want to, so I decided to turn my back on them," said Tigray. "Forced?" asked the player. "Yes. She forced us to do things we weren't proud of, saying we needed to do these to be able to survive," answered Tigray. The player realizes maybe Pony didn't have a choice, because he was forced to infect Doggy. He feels extremely sorry for deserting him and not trusting. He feels extremely weak. He feels defeated. But slowly, everything starts to black out.
Are you interested in a deal?
The story continues to be the same until the camp map. Willow and the group have reached the entrance to the lab. Willow sees Tigray. His feet were trembling. "Guess you truly are a scaredy cat," said Willow. "Willow, shut up. You will get yourself killed," said Tigray. "Wow, what a scary threat," said Willow.
What's the holdup, Tigray?
Said a voice from behind Tigray.
Oh, hello, Willow.
Said the player. "The hell happened to you?" said Willow.
So kind of you to worry about me. Now, get out before I end you.
Said the player. "Oh, you're confident, I see," said Willow.
Is this job done, Tigray?
Asked the player. "Yes," replied Tigray, still trembling.
Good.
Said the player. "Alright, I'm not wasting any more time," said Willow. She withdraws her revolver and fires it at the player, and he dodged it like it was nothing. He gives Willow a stare and jumps right at her and gives her a punch in the face. She tried to block it, but he was just too fast. In no more than a few punches, Willow was knocked out cold. He slowly walks towards Pony, who was just watching from a corner in total fear.
Pony, I have to tell you something.
Said the player. "What?" replied Pony.
I'm sorry, Pony. I had the wrong idea about you. It was Willow who forced you. But now, it's too late. It's over now, Pony. The cure is mine. I want to leave you unscathed. You can join me or run far away from me.
Said the player. "No! I'm gonna get that cure!" yelled Pony.
Don't do this, Pony.
Said the player. Tigray had grabbed the gun from Willow's cold body and shot it at the player. But he dodged it. Pony's body dropped straight to the ground.
Good try, Tiger. But you messed up now.
Said the player and leaped straight at Tigray. He tries to shoot him, but he is too fast. The player disarms him and points the gun at his head.
You brought this upon yourself.
And I'll let you imagine what happened after that. And that's the end of the video. Thank y'all so much for watching. This took a long time, but I can assure you there's gonna be more than one video this month. So yeah. So hope y'all liked that video, and yeah, upload schedule. So if you guys have watched my last video, you'll know that I'm working on a new series which involves you guys. So go check that video out, and if you're interested, go ahead, join my Discord server, and the whole rules will be explained as the first video of that series when it gets released. And yeah, so check that out, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace. Also subscribe.